What's going on, guys? Today I have some school stories reaction video to watch because if you don't know, I posted a poll a few months ago and this was what the poll suggested. So without further ado, we're going to be reacting to some school stories. Let's get into it. So first off, we're going to be starting with school stories. FT The Odd Ones Out from Infamous Swoosh. Let's do this.
Who wants to start? How
are we doing this?
Who just wants to let it out?
So James is teaching me about math in this video. Hey everybody, welcome to this month's episode of Swoosh Brings on His Friends to talk about fun things. Today we have The Odd Ones Out, the pioneer of school stories, okay?
Shut up.
When I was in 7th or 8th grade, I had a big crush on one of my classmates. And there was like maybe 10 kids.
I thought you were going to say teacher, and I was going to be like,
no, what is wrong with you? I had a crush on one of my classmates because there was only like 10 of us in our little private school in my class. One day we were watching some like documentary in history class, and I was sitting next to this girl that I liked, and I was like, you can't mess that up. But I did. I remember I like farted, and like she was like, Did you just fart? And I was like, no, I didn't just fart. I remember like being like, no, that was my desk. And I literally started shaking.
I was moving it, see?
Yeah, I started shaking my desk to like make a noise.
It wasn't the same sound?
No, of course it wasn't the same sound. And I think I was even like, see, it's the same, you know?
What lesson did we learn from that story, Swoosh?
We learned don't fart in front of your crush. That's what we learned.
Fart in front of women.
That's a good lesson.
They'll never understand.
The girls don't fart, so Swoosh, can I ask you?
Yeah, we totally don't fart, guys. Guys, we totally don't. Never, totally don't.
Question. Have you ever cheated?
Well, I'm perfect, so no, duh.
I had a class. It was a math class,
Oh,
and
no.
we had a lunch in the middle of that class. We would have these like big long math tests, but they wouldn't split them up. So we would start the math test, go to lunch, and then finish the math test.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Like,
So many opportunities to cheat.
what were you expecting? You know, like
Hide the answers in the burger.
We would do the test and then go to lunch, and then everyone in the class would like sit at a table just discussing the test. Just,
Oh my gosh,
how do you do
dude,
number
that's-
14?
that's
how do you
so
do
dumb.
number?
That is crazy. I can't. This is why you don't have lunch like that. That is. I don't know how to react to that. Honestly, I'd probably do the same. Not gonna lie.
Well, it was great.
No. That reminds me of something too. In our history class, we had this teacher who I mentioned in the teacher stories video. Great guy. His name was Mr. Mead. I had Mr. Mead in basically every year. It was like 7th to 11th grade we had Mr. Mead because it was a small private school. The highest I would get on the test would be like a 97. And I always wanted to get a 100 just for fun.
Just want a perfect record.
Exactly. So one day I came in, I was super prepared. I had everything in my brain. I was going to ace this test.
Do you
okay?
remember what the lesson was? Like, what was it about? Like American history? Like,
No,
the
dude, of
Revolutionary
course
War?
I don't. So I do the test, and then my friend behind me is like, dude, Susan is cheating. And I was like, dude, what? What? My test is almost done. I look over, and Susan, she had a bunch of index cards with the answers, and I was like, Susan. And like, Mr. Mead saw me and my friend talking about it, and he was like, will you boys stop talking? And I was like, I'm sorry, Mr. Mead. I get my test back, and I got a 95. And I go, huh? And it says -5 for talking. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. And then that was when I was like, Mr. Mead, Susan was cheating, and that's why I was talking. I didn't cry, but
Oh
you
my
know.
Yeah, but you tattletaled a little bit.
Oh my god, I can't imagine getting in trouble for talking during a test when someone else is cheating, like literally right next to you. That is crazy. Wow. Don't cheat on tests. You will get caught.
Dude, I wanted a perfect
You
score,
wanted the perfect
man.
100. You never got that perfect 100?
Nope, I
That
never.
perfect
Dude,
hundo?
literally for the rest of high school, I never got a 100 on one of his tests.
Wow.
This is like a weird topic, but one thing I
Yeah.
learned to hate because of school was pooping in public bathrooms.
Everybody knows. Everybody does.
When I'm like on the toilet or whatever, and someone's
Sure.
in a stall next to me or like
When
comes
I'm
in,
doing my business.
I'm sitting there not moving a muscle. Like,
Agreed.
they know I'm there.
Agreed. Yeah.
There's no way I'm making a little badunk sound in freaking dead silence.
They need to play music.
Honestly though, because I was at school the other day, not too long ago, I think it was like 2 days ago that it was, and I was in the bathroom, right? I'm finishing up, right? Someone comes in, they go into the handicap stall. It was just slam dunk after slam dunk. So disgusting.
In bathrooms, because I
Dude,
totally agree.
for
with you.
real?
It's so quiet. You like hear the door open. You hear the
I
footsteps.
know, dude. Oh my god.
And then they sit down, and then it's
It's
silence.
silence.
And then it's just
Oh,
two of
dude.
you just in this silent room, and then you just.
Yep.
Was there a time when you had to be like, I can't hold it in anymore? Excuse me, Mr. Mead.
I mean-
can I go to the bathroom?
You know what I actually do remember from Mr. Mead is that one of the girls would be like, can I use the bathroom? And he's like, sure. And they would go. And then I'd be like, hey, Mr. Mead, can I go to the bathroom? Well, Susan's not back yet. And I'm like, but Susan's a girl. Like, I need to use it, Mr. Mead.
We
Come
only
on,
have a
man.
one hall pass.
You know what's worse than not being able to use the bathroom?
What?
Not having a good VPN.
What?
No.
This video was
No.
sponsored by Surfshark VPN. Surfshark.
Luckily for you guys, we don't have to watch it. We don't have to watch it.
Code SWOOSH to get 3 months free. Thanks to Surfshark for sponsoring this video.
Did you do prom at school?
No, dude, we didn't have prom at all.
Oh, you didn't even have prom? Like they didn't even do it? I remember telling my mom that I didn't want to go to prom. Like, this is stupid. I'm not going to have a good time. And my mom was like, you gotta go to prom. You need to have that moment in your life, you know? And now I'm glad I did it. But you
I
never
can't
had
relate, dude.
prom, Swoosh?
did. No,
What?
I didn't, bro. No. I didn't. It would have saved that whole farting incident with the other crush. I could have just been like, let me show you a good time. I'm sorry about that one incident.
buy you flowers. Did you have a senior prank?
Dude, my senior year was during COVID, so it got like
Really?
cut in half.
When did you graduate?
I graduated in 2020, dude.
You're the class of 2020? That's got to be like a title.
At every
That
family
is,
graduation
honestly.
until we're dead, we're gonna bring up how we were robbed, and no one's gonna care.
Did you have to wear a uniform, Swoosh?
Yes, we did have to wear
I
a
wore a
uniform, man.
uniform.
It was like button-up blue shirt, navy blue pants, black dress shoes, and a navy blue tie, man.
A tie?
Yeah, I wore a tie to school every day.
Do you have a picture of this?
I do have a picture of that. I gotta find one. This was
Picture,
me
picture,
on the
pictures.
first day of 7th.
Aw, look at that. First day of 7th grade. Little Swoosh, 2014. Amazing. Amazing. You could definitely find out where he lived when he was younger thanks to the license plate on that car. Anyways,
grade.
Oh, look at little baby Swoosh.
In first grade, we would go to gym class. The teacher would like put deodorant on our arms, and you might be like, "What are you talking about?"
What?
But the deodorant was called Speed Stick, and we thought that if we got this on our arms, we could run super
Oh my
fast. I
God.
fully believed it, and like she
You were
would go.
first grade.
I was like, give me a Speed Stick, and she would like wipe it on my arm, and I just start running, bro. I was like zooming,
Did you ever have a teacher?
running, bro. I was like zooming.
Did you ever have a teacher that was pregnant? Because my first grade teacher didn't stop teaching when she was pregnant, and
Oh.
that
Lord.
really sucked. You know, we're in first grade. This is like our second year of school ever, and this teacher is throwing up in the trash cans and had a very short
Oh my
temper.
gosh. Did she ever like see you eating your lunch and being like, I'm craving something, and like grab it off your like little grubby hands and start eating it?
We would like be doing like an assignment. We're like writing or something, and then just in the corner, I hear her.
Oh my
like,
gosh,
just in the trash can
what?
and stuff.
God.
There. We pat her on the back.
That kid's probably older than me now.
Oh shoot, you're so right. Oh my god.
Wait, how old were you in first grade?
Like probably like 6 or 7, right?
And you're 6 years older than me, dude.
Yeah, so maybe
Oh
you
my
are
gosh.
that kid. Is your mom Mrs. Clark?
Yes! I remember there was one day where my friend James, he carved bruh into the toilet paper dispenser.
Okay, so he vandalized.
Mr. Josh
Vandalized.
Brolin, call back from the teacher's video. In the morning announcements, he was like, who wrote bruh on the toilet paper dispenser? And like, I remember James being like, dude, that was me. And I was like, dude, you wrote bruh on the toilet paper dispenser? So it was 2022. My cousin was like a senior, okay? And I was
Sure,
like
sure.
helping out with the school's like field day with like activities. And I remember by the end of the day, the principal was like, we're gonna do senior hide hide and seek. I remember feeling so left out, and I ran up to the principal and I was like, dude, my senior year was cut in half. Please let me participate. I'm begging you. And he goes, all right, Nathan's gonna join too. And I was like, yippee! And I like ran out of the crowd and everything. My friend Tim from our last video that we recorded, who choked on stage, that guy.
Yeah.
I was like, Tim, we gotta hide somewhere, dude. And he's like, okay, I have a great idea. There was this small room where the vending machine is. Above the vending machine on the ceiling, there's a little door.
On the ceiling?
On the ceiling, like a very small one.
Like an attic?
Yeah, like an attic type thing. I remember in high school seeing it and being like, dude, wherever that goes, I don't even know. So like Tim was like, I got this crazy idea. Let's get in there.
That's gonna be a killer hiding spot.
So we like got like chairs and we like jumped up there. It was like really hard to get up there, and like someone even like pushed our feet up, dude. No one could find us. We're definitely not supposed to be up there. And we find this little crevice where you can like crawl under, because they start to find out that like we're up here in this room. So Tim tries to like crawl away.
They're in the walls!
Dude, his feet came through the ceiling and they were like, oh my goodness, like his feet were like hanging through the ceiling, and he like backed up and there were like 2 giant holes in the ceiling. Tim got like in major trouble. They were like, is anyone else up there? And he like looks back at me. Nah, there's no one up here. And he went down, dude, and I stayed up there. I was up there and I remember like a teacher at one point was like, Nathan, get down from there. And I was like, okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
game's over.
Here's the picture.
Oh my god.
Dude, I regret nothing, man. You know?
Yeah, no, it's
That
good.
is-
Well, thank you for joining me, James, on this adventure.
Okay, that was an interesting first video. Let us get on to the second one. Jaden Animations, My School Stories.
I just recently realized that the majority of my school days are over. I don't know about anyone else, but I used to think to myself, ugh, school's never gonna end. 12 years plus college is so long to spend just in school. And now, all of a sudden, it's practically over. And it's like, what happened? Wait, I'm not ready to be an adult yet. And you know what else is scary? I don't remember pretty much anything I learned from grade 6 up. It's just a jumble of English papers and random history I didn't care about. Kind of makes you question the education system when you think about it. So I don't remember a lot of the things I studied during school, but I do have a lot of dumb random memories that I, for some reason, haven't forgotten about over the years. For example, in first grade, I lost my front left tooth in the middle of class and started bleeding all over the place. And the teacher had to stop in the middle of class to get me a tissue and one of those little teeth envelopes to hold the tooth I just spat out. I don't know if schools still use those, but they were the funniest concept to me. Like, you come home, oh mom, you got mail. Oh, what is it? Oh, it's not much, it's just my freaking gross saliva-covered baby tooth I ripped out of my head in the middle of school. Does school still do this? I don't know. I hope so. Oh, Jaden, that's a funny memory. I bet you don't remember what you were learning about while you bled on everything. Nope, you're wrong. We were learning about emperor penguins. Thanks for remembering all those important details, brain. Appreciate ya. I also remember everyone in school kind of fit into a category. Athletes, popular kids, nerds, anime nerds, emos, you name them. What kind of kid was I in school? You guessed it! The quiet one who never talked at all. Growing up, I was a shy, quiet person, and I always only had 1 or 2 friends in a class, if any. I mean, I'm still pretty reserved, but I mean, that's another point. I was so shy that one time my nose started bleeding randomly in the middle of a class, and I was too quiet to get up and excuse myself to go to the bathroom or the nurse. So I silently just raised my hand, waiting to get permission to leave. And you know what happened? The teacher took 5 minutes to call on me. I spent 5 minutes panicking, trying my best not to bleed on anything. Looking back, there was a lot of blood involved in these memories. One time a teacher asked the class a question, and a few people raised their hand, but as he was looking around the room, we made eye contact. Oh god. Jaden! Crap. Everyone knows, if you don't want to be called on, don't make eye contact. It's school 101. I don't know. He went on to someone else who had their hand raised, which he should have done in the first place. If someone doesn't have their hand raised, it means they don't have the answer. Don't be mad when you call on someone without their hand raised and they don't have an answer. So he continued his lecture, and I started calming down from the surprise spotlight. But a few minutes later, he had another question. Can anyone define a peninsula? Oh, I know what a peninsula is, but I don't know how to describe it, so I won't raise my hand. Jaden! What? Are you actually trying to give me a seizure? I don't... Do you know? No, but... No, well, I mean, yes, I know what it is. Then he yelled, then tell me! The class laughed because he was being sarcastic. I thought it was funny too, but for some reason I almost started crying. He didn't call on me the rest of the year. Alongside being the shy girl, I was also known as being the art kid. I think everyone who's artsy in school can relate. Whenever someone found out you like to draw, it would immediately turn to, "You like to draw? Can you draw me?" And the answer would always be, anyway, like the nice way of saying, haha, that's a silly question. No, of course I don't want to draw you. And several years later, to this day, people are still asking me if I would draw them things. And the answer is still, no. In my middle school art class, on the last day of school, we had a little celebration end of the year art competition. Not a drawing contest, but who's the most passionate about art and is most likely going to do something with it in their life and not just drop it and get a day job sitting in a cubicle all day. Contest. Me, having pretty much zero self-confidence, already accepted the fact that someone else would get it. I wasn't sad or anything, I just knew in my head people weren't going to vote for me because, 1, I never really talked to people, and it was a class vote, and 2, I don't know, I just didn't think I was good enough. But to my surprise, I actually won! I was so startled when the teacher called my name, like, what? Me? Are you sure? You don't want to count the votes again? Kathy's pretty good. Everyone likes Kathy. Freaking Kathy. Then high school happened, and I met my high school art teacher. This guy was... I don't know how to describe him. I've never met someone so psychopathic. To start, he had this obsession with Pirates of the Caribbean, and even though there's nothing wrong with that, I mean, everyone has their fandoms, he would sit back at his desk and blast different remixes of the Pirates of the Caribbean soundtrack. Even when we were all trying to draw, he would hop up onto desks and scream, "Swing your sword!" while whirling around a golf club with a paintbrush taped to the end of it. No one knew what he meant. We didn't question anything. He hung a pirate flag on the emergency fire sprinkler. A bit of a safety hazard if you ask me, but again, no one questioned him. And one time on a random day of class, "Arrgh, draw me!" He burst through the door dressed up completely like a pirate, screaming in people's faces and running around like a crackpot. I didn't take his class anymore. But that was not the end of Mr. Captain Jack Sparrow, nope! You know why? Because he was one of the tennis coaches! Yep, and you all know who was on the tennis team. It wasn't that bad because he coached the boys' team. His ex-wife coached the girls. She got fired later on for sleeping with the track teacher, but this story isn't about her. So he'd be there while we were on the next court with our own drills. And one practice, I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden he got super hyped out of nowhere and started yelling and making a commotion, and we all kind of just stopped and looked over at him like, okay, what's he doing? And then he started yelling, "I'm gonna jump over the net!" And the rule of tennis for everyone out there is, don't jump over the net. We were all just standing there like, what the heck is going on? And then he started running to actually do it. And you know what happened? He safely jumped over the net. Wrong. His foot caught the top of it, and it slingshotted him face first into the concrete. This is why you don't jump over the net. You need to take him to the doctor. And she's like, nah, he's fine. Like, no, seriously, he could have a concussion. That was a hard hit. He's alright, he'll shake it off. Dude, so his ex-wife took him to the doctor, and we all just stood around for a while. I don't think he had a concussion, but he did get 2 black eyes and had to wear sunglasses in class for like a month. And that was cool for me, there you go. Hey dudes, it's been a while since
That's ludicrous. But I got you. Hang on. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Also be studying for the test? Hey there, Frederick. What you doing? Oh, hello, brother of mine. Why, I'm just studying for a math test tomorrow. That's pretty neat, Frederick. Braxton, brother, shouldn't you also be studying for the test? Well, you see, Frederick, due to my high levels of apathy and the stress of knowing that I'll never be good at math, I've decided to completely give up on even trying to do good on the test. So, what are you gonna do instead? Oh, I'm just gonna go watch some YouTube videos. School sucks, especially math. Ugh. When will I ever use geometry/trigonometry/calculus in the real world? I think you're only saying that because you're bad at geometry/trigonometry/calculus. Why is everyone so quick to hate on math? Math is easy. How many essays did you have to write for math class? Oh, that's right, e to the I pi plus 1, which is 0. One thing I would change about math class is I think it's dumb that you have to show your work. Ugh, do you know how much harder it is to cheat when you have to show your work? Dear Math, solve your own problems, tweeted MatPat. I hate Matt, replied Protato Gamer. Hey, that's not very nice of you, Prote. All he did was tweet about math. Maybe what you really hate is spelling. Or maybe you really do hate MatPat. Well, two can play at this game. When will I ever need to know about the themes and symbolisms in To Kill a Mockingbird when I go into the real world? That's right, never! You don't need to know anything to be in the real world. Okay, I think we can all agree that a lot of what school teaches you isn't that important. And there's definitely more important things schools could be teaching you, like taxes or how to pick a good president. But I'm not the one who makes the curriculum, so why am I even talking about it? Regardless of how broken your education system is, you should always stay in school, kids. Right, Dave? I was a good student in school, not counting college. And look how I turned out. I'm not using everything I learned in school almost every day. Sure, you'll probably never need to know that much about Shakespeare's plays. But hey, now you know how to read old-timey complicated books. And no, you'll probably never have to find the area under a curve ever, but now you can say that you can. And isn't that what life's all about? So enough with this introduction. I'm going to be telling you all some of my school stories. What do you mean Jaden already made a video on school stories? Did she call them school stories? I already stole from her like 2 videos ago. Okay, I'll think of something. So enough with this introduction. I'm going to be telling you all some of my academy anecdotes. So you know how guys can pee standing up? It's amazing. Ladies, if you've never peed standing up, then you're missing out. But there are some rules that apply with having the superpower. Like, don't go to a urinal right next to another guy unless it's absolutely necessary. Or if the urinals don't have a divider, then everyone can all agree to keep your eyes and mind straight. These rules have been taught to us at a very young age. By the time we were in elementary school, we were all pros at peeing. Except for some of us when we were asleep. But that's not important. So at this point in life, we all should have known what we were doing. But there was this one kid who I guess no one ever taught him how to pee correctly. This kid, I'm not going to say his race because it doesn't matter, but when he went to the bathroom, he would pull his pants and underwear all the way down to the ground. Some of the ladies watching this might be thinking, wait, is that not how guys pee? Ladies, you'll just have to trust me on this, but that is the most wrong way a person can pee. The first time I saw the kid doing this was when I was in the urinal right next to him. Pee faster! As us 2 bros were peeing, a 3rd bro walked into the bathroom, saw this kid's bottom, and just went, ooh, and walked out of the bathroom. I wish I could have done the same. How do you tell someone, hey man, when you pee like that, everyone can see your butt, so just... Here, let me show you how to do it. I don't know what happened to that kid, but I think he would agree with me that math is easy. He was Asian. When I was little, I had a very weird sense of humor. So in the 5th grade, there was this girl I'd known for a long time. We weren't strangers or anything. And one day I said to her, you have 2 big blue zits right there. And I pointed at her eyes. I was talking about her eyes. I called her eyes zits. Get it? She, immediately slapped me. Probably because the joke was so awful. And that was the first time I ever got slapped by someone who wasn't a family member. And yes, it was Priscilla, the girl I sat next to in the cardboard boat video. She claims that the slap was an accident and that she was just trying to fake slap me to scare me. But I think she was really just self-conscious about her eyezits. One time, my 6th grade teacher, who was the same height as all of us, threw a stapler across the room because we wouldn't stop talking. Here's an anecdote about the first time I got detention, and it is that exciting. I was in the 7th grade and our class was at a computer lab, and the kid sitting next to me, his race doesn't matter, so I'm not going to say it, Asian, kept changing the computer wallpapers to cats and he kept showing me. To be fair, I thought what he was doing was hilarious. Then I asked him, can you change the background to Chuck Norris? That just goes to show you how long ago this story took place. He showed me what he did, I laughed, but then the teacher said, "Who's changing the wallpapers?" She was able to see everyone's screens from her computer, and the kid said, "Me and James were." Dude, don't bring me into this! You were the one changing the wallpapers. I mean, I was involved a little, but don't drag me down with you. We ended up getting detention, except my school didn't call it detention, they called it CARE, which I'm sure was an acronym for something. If it wasn't an acronym, that would have been a weird thing to call detention. Let's just say it stood for Kids Are Really Extra. The whole time I was in CARE, I kept thinking in my head, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. If they see you cry, you might as well move to China. And that was the only time I got detention. Except it wasn't called detention. So I still have a clean record. All right, here's the last anecdote. This one happened when I was in the 11th grade. I was in an AP US history class, and I had it for a 0 hour. So that meant I was at the class before school even started, and I was way too tired to learn about presidents. I was sitting in class when all of a sudden I sneezed very loudly. And it was an above average sneeze, like one of those sneezes where you had to lean into it. And after I sneezed, this kid near me said, "Hey, yo, Mr. Teacher, can we get some tissues? This boy's got a bloody nose." And I thought, oh shoot, I do? Well, that sneeze was pretty violent, and I did pick my nose a few minutes ago. And then the teacher looked right at me and said, "Oh, yeah, you can just go to the bathroom." So I got up, and as I was walking to the door, I felt my face and realized, wait a minute, I don't have a bloody nose. I turned around, and there was a kid who actually did have a bloody nose walking towards me. I'm not going to say the race of the kid because it doesn't matter. Canadian, but I was in a pretty awkward situation. So I punched myself until I actually did get a bloody nose. Nah, I'm just kidding. What I really did was I said out loud, "I have to go to the bathroom too." And then I left. I didn't really have to go to the bathroom. I didn't want to see another exposed butt anyway, so I just waited outside awkwardly for a long time. I got an A in that class, by the way, if you were wondering. I still don't use anything I learned in that class. Before I begin this end card, I just want to say that I got some brand new shirts